Hey, mate. All right, live. What's happening? It is Tuesday night, the 17th. And what is it, about 9 days from Nationals or 10 days from Nationals? Very exciting stuff. Very cool. We've been putting in a lot of work. And tonight are, just ways to not screw it up, bro. We're at the finish line. If you're going to run an entire marathon, are you going to get to mile 25 with 1 mile to go and then start getting a bunch of nerves and anxiety and screw it up? Well, that's really what we're talking about tonight, are 5 steps to guarantee a successful performance. Because, hey, look, all the work has been done at this point. So what do we got to do to show up and put it, on the line? Last week's seminar was a little different, but kind of similar topic. So last week was like how to show up ready. That was about packing your bags, checking the boxes. This one tonight, we're going to talk a little bit more about, how to think about things, how to frame your mind and this and that. So let's get into it. And as always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. But this is a personal guarantee. If you do these things, you will have a successful day. I'm going to put have a successful comp. How about that? All right. All right, number 1, and this is, in my opinion, potentially the most important, is positive self-talk, okay? All right, so when we have things like anxiety or nerves, a lot of times those are coming from places of visualizing and thinking about the worst case scenarios. So I don't know who I got here watching or who's tuned in, but I've had talks with people over the last couple of weeks that have been saying, I might zero events, or, sorry guys, I put my lamp on before it's going to get dark later. I might zero events, or I don't know how I'm going to do, or I hope I do blank. This is the time to start telling yourself things over and over, like, it's all going to work out for the best. I am going to have fun. This is an amazing opportunity. I'm so excited. Instead of thinking about these worst case scenario things, we just gotta pound, those negative voices in our head out with good, positive affirmations and reinforcements. Because here's the really cool thing about, our journeys as strength athletes is going into shows. You cannot take away all of the work that you have done to this point. Let's say you have only done 60% of what you could have done. Guess what? That's still 60% greater than 0 or nothing, or the 20% that you would have done if you didn't sign up for this show. So you have to, think about these positive things and start telling yourself right now, it's all going to work out for the best. That's my personal favorite one, is it always works out. It always works out. It always works out. And then if that's what we're filtering our brain through over and over and over again, if you make a mistake or you make a technical error or something doesn't go according to plan, if you're thinking it's all going to work out for the best, then you're just able to just swoosh right on past whatever it is and still have a good day and good performance. So I want you to really take some time to personalize that, and just be proud of what you've done and what you're going in to do, because it is a worthy task. You are an awesome individual for just accepting the call. While there's, 600 or so people that are at nationals, there's probably 5 or 10 times as more that aren't going, that did not embrace the challenge, for whatever reason, but you're one of them. So feel good about that. All right, number 2. This is sort of a duh, but it's a good reminder. Sleep. Okay. I know people are probably, maybe not, everybody knows, you should be getting good sleep, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, you definitely should. but we have to cover just how important this is. I will say it over and over and over again because nothing is going to prepare you physically, mentally, and spiritually for nationals like making sure you're getting a good night's sleep as often as possible all the way through from now until competition. Now, you should have been doing this in the past weeks, months, and years, no matter what, but whatever. We're close now. Now it's time to crank it up. If you got time for some extra naps, go for it. We want our body to get as much recharge, rest, and recovery as possible. Now, in your program, chances are, most likely, this week right now is either your heaviest week or you're just in the highest state of fatigue. So what we do in this last week sort of like seals the deal on all of the work we've put up to this point, whether it was an 8-week program, a 12-week program, a 4-week prep, or maybe you're not training for it at all and you're just going to, show up to it. What matters is that we have good, positive momentum from our training sessions that we're feeling good and confident about to show up at our best ability at nationals. And the way we do that is by getting good sleep. You know this, all right? This is just a reminder for you. Think about a time when you got shit sleep and you were grumpy and you didn't feel good. You didn't have a good workout. Now, flip-flop it. I was going to say face the inverse, flip-flop it, and think about, when you got an awesome night's sleep and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to crush it out here, okay? Do what you can with that. So this goes hand in hand with sleep. This might be more than 5 by the time I'm done. Because now that I'm going, I'm like, ugh. Right? All right, number 3 is, how do I want to say this best? Is preserve the nerves. Preserve the nerves. Okay, what do I mean by preserve the nerves? While I take a sip of my smoothie here, excuse me. Get your foods in at all times when you need to. Prioritize you. You are important. You need to do what it takes to reach your goals. Like me, I'm sorry, I'm having my smoothie in the middle of some of this presentation. Do what you got to do. Anyways, preserve the nerves, okay? What I mean specifically about this is your nervous system, right? Strength is a nervous system response, right? This is why you can have some of these teeny tiny little power lifters lift 600, 700, 800 pounds, and then you have a lot of bodybuilders with all the muscle mass in the entire world unable to lift half of that, right? It's because really strength is a nervous system adaptation, all right? We're not going to go into the theory of all of that, but think about whenever you've had a hard training day and you can't think straight, like you just feel like your head's in a fog. That's because your nervous system is totally crashed. So we have to make sure that we don't overdo it, and that's really the best way to do that is preventative measures, right? Instead of like reacting when we've gone too far and then having to like play catch up with our nervous system and get a supplement and this and that, we can take the time to calm ourselves now so that we kickstart this recovery process and we let the nervous system show up on game day at a 10 out of 10 or maybe even greater, right? Because when we do these training programs, if this works correctly, right, we build up in fatigue and performance. But when our fatigue is so high, we have to have these periods of deload or a taper week that's going to allow us to have full system recovery so that we elevate our whole body baseline up higher than where it started. That's just how it works, right? It's one of these things. We go up, deload, so this is where we were before, then we recover and our new performance is here, right? So we go up, deload here, all right? I'm just going to draw that out because me doing it with my hands looks ridiculous, okay? All right, chart, blah, 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 chart. Okay, here's our performance. Goes up like this, and then we got to deload. But then when we recover, we start higher, right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not an artist, whatever. but I think you understand my drift. So this is only going to happen if we're taking care of our nervous system now, where we get this rest and recovery and jump back up. So we're trying to, be right here in training, have our taper week, and then we're 10% ahead. That's our goal with this, right? I'm going to clear that out, but I hope you understand what I'm saying by that. And we get the most out of that recovery period by doing things such as sleeping well, managing stress. This is the time right now where that person at work pisses you off, or you get somebody that cuts you off in traffic. Fuck them. Let it go. Who cares? You don't need that right now. Nothing extra on your plate is needed, all right? So even if you are not somebody in the past who has practiced meditation or prayer or breath work or going out into nature, grounding, getting your feet in bare grass, hey, every little bit helps. So I want you to start thinking about where are these opportunities where you can find some relaxation for your system so that your nerves can show up and perform at that highest level on game day. What's up, Trapper King in the building? So anyways, guys, this is a whole different thing. I'm not going to go into this, but I've been experimenting with eating over 2 hours before bed. Let me tell you, it's one of the things that's really helped improve my sleep quality. So now's really not the time to, try anything like funky or new. I'm just telling you what I was doing. Anyways, routine, hell yeah. So that's actually the point of number 4 is now is not the time to try some new, like, oh my gosh, you know what? I should start cold plunging. Everybody says that's so good. I should start doing something crazy, blah, blah, blah. Now's not the time to start some like new crazy thing. Like, shit, you know what? I need to lose some weight. Maybe I'm going to start running 10 miles every week, right? We want to try to be as routine as possible. Now, I want to kind of relate 3 and 4 because at the end of point number 3, when I was saying preserve the nerves, I said now would be a good time to try things like meditation or breath work or going out of your way to do a relaxing activity, have quiet time in nature, but only if it's, minimal strength. Like if I'm telling you, hey, go to the beach, that doesn't mean if you live 10 hours from the beach that you're driving 10 hours there for an hour and then to come back. As somebody like me, I live 20 minutes from it. So it takes nothing for me to get over there and get back. But you've probably got a park nearby where you can walk barefoot in grass. You can spend 5 minutes here or there just to put on some binaural beats or things like, oh man, great. If you're not on this stuff, you need to. 432 hertz music or 528. This stuff is incredible, and I will tell you about it because it's really invaluable. Binaural beats, okay? So, really good stuff, good stuff. Now, if you're somebody that needs to relax a little bit, I'm telling you, even trying this for 5 minutes is going to make a huge difference. But think about a song that gets you super hyped and super pumped up. Great advice, got to work on number 3. Dude, it's so important. Anyways, so this is one thing that we can do to preserve the nerves and calm ourselves. I want you to think right now about that one song that gets you ready to go to fucking war, man, that gets you ready you know what I mean? So music can be engineered to do all sorts of things to you emotionally, right? So again, think about that PR song, whatever it is. If you want to share it in the chat, I would love to know what really gets you going. But this also means that we can find music on the other end that's going to calm us and relax us. So think about just tools in your toolbox. I think one of these things that makes a really great strongman is to just add tools over and over and over again. So you've got this big array, like you're the best mechanic in the entire world that's prepared to handle any car, any situation. I think that's how you got to handle yourself as like a strength athlete and a person. Is just thinking about this huge array and this giant toolbox of all these different tools you can use at different times. Anyways, I'm rambling. 432 hertz and 528 hertz musics are specific frequencies that are designed to help you relax. So are binaural beats. Binaural is a different range of hertz and frequencies, but they are engineered and scientifically proven to get you to relax. So if you have never done this before, what I would recommend to do, find a quiet spot, comfortable chair, or lay down with your eyes closed. Go on Spotify or YouTube and look up 432 hertz or 528 hertz or binaural beats and just close your eyes, stay still, and relax. You will get into a deeper, calmer state faster than you ever have before, okay? This stuff is incredible. I could not recommend more. Really amazing stuff, right? Anyways, so here's how I got here. We don't want to add too much, right? We want to be as routine as possible. So when we're thinking about things to add in to preserve the nerves, like what can you do with relatively like minimal change to your routine? The reason we want to be routine is we're not just adding any other stresses. This is, again, a preserve the nerves things. Like we want our body, our mind, our soul to be in the swing of things. If we've been following a training program, our body is now wired and built and programmed. That's why it's called a training program. It's programmed in order to do certain things on game day. So we don't want to change the programming. We don't want to change the routine and start running a 5K every morning because that's not our goal, right? If we have been doing specific things like our routine, we sleep and we take 10,000 steps and we stretch 3 nights a week so that we are prepared to be a good strongman athlete. We want to keep those things in our routine, okay? Now, if you're thinking like right now, now's a good time for good self-reflection to think like, damn, I wish I had done this time. It's not the time to implement it, but it's good somewhere right now to connect to the importance of it. So when you're done with nationals, you can come back around and then implement it. When I was at OSG last year, said, damn, I wish I did more conditioning. Guess what? I've done a lot more conditioning this year. But when I was in November, 2 weeks out, I wouldn't have done shit. It would have only made me worse up at that point in time, okay? So far we have positive self-talk. You got to sleep. You got to preserve the nerves. You got to stay in routine. And number 5, I'm going to write this here. They're all important, but man, they're all like so good in my opinion. I'm going to write this first and then I'll tell you what it is. Okay. My PR song is Killing in the Name of by Rage Against the Machine. Nice, a good one. All right, number 5 is you have to have delusional optimism. You have to have delusional optimism. Hey, what if I show up and PR everything? What if I podium? What if I have the best day that I've ever had in my entire life, right? I don't think that it's possible to have these things if you're not a little delusional to begin with. You know, you have to believe in yourself without a shadow of a doubt, or at least be open to the possibility of thinking like, shit, man, I could do this thing in order to do it, right? Like, what's important to really do, though, is to have optimism without it being egotistical or outcome-based, right? You know, like specifically, like super tied to an outcome. So when I'm saying like, hey, maybe I could set PRs, or hey, like maybe I could, win this thing. I'm going to be honest with you. When I was going into nationals last year, I wasn't telling myself I was going to win, but I said, man, I could maybe win this thing, you know. And then event 4 or 5, I had PRs on, finished in 4th place, still stands to this day. But I was not going to be able to set PRs on all those things if I didn't think, you know, hey, there's a possibility that everything I've done to this point, that I'm going to show up and have the best day of my entire life, and all my competition, you know, won't be able to hang. It's just belief in myself. This is delusional optimism and just a like unwavering belief that you can do it. But again, I hope you understand what I'm saying with this, where we're not like saying like, I'm going to win. I'm not saying I'm certain I'm going to make the podium. I'm not saying like I have to make the podium. I'm saying, hey, there's a chance that I could do this. So when we open ourselves up to the possibility, let's say, hey, I could win. I could win. Hey, I got a shot at this. Then we should start thinking like, well, what's it going to take? It's going to take me being calm and focused and then, hitting that switch of intensity and adrenaline when it's the right time. But if I'm sitting in the back wigging out the entire time, that's not what a champion's going to do. They're going to find those levels of, balancing hype, rage, adrenaline, and also calmness. They have the ability to flip that switch on and off when it's the appropriate moments and times. So if you start thinking these things like, hey, I could do this, then you start thinking of, all right, well, what does it actually take? When you're in the back and you're, already practicing this positive self-talk, hey, it's all going to work out for the best, but there was 600 people and 2 yokes to warm up with in the back. If I'm in my head thinking like I was last year, hey, it's going to work out for the best. And like, hey, I could win this thing. What was I thinking? It was not thinking like, damn, dude, I need to be able to do 10 warm-up runs. No. What I was thinking was, okay, I know I'm really good at yoke. I would like to get one pick just so I can feel some weight on it, even if I can't do a run. And then I'm just going to trust in my warm-ups and my abilities. So because I was talking to myself positively, saying everything's going to work out no matter what, and I also at the same time was thinking like, hey, you know what? I got a shot at winning this thing. It prevented me from like freaking out and thinking negatively about the circumstances. It allowed me to get a great warm-up in, did my sprinter warm-up, some plyos. If you're in Club Strongman, we do the Feed the Cats sprint warm-up as part of our sprinting and movement warm-ups. Awesome stuff, clubstrongman.com for training programs. Some of us in here right now are running that thing. But I did that. I got one terrible pick on the yoke in the warm-up area. Then I went right out to the floor for 650 yoke, and I won the event. I was the only person to get under 20 seconds for a 50-foot down and back for the yoke in my division. And I think one of only like 3 all day long out of 600 at nationals. So that all happened because, so I got to make sure I got plugged in here so I don't lose you. Okay, let's see. All right, good to go. That only happened because I wasn't worried about the circumstances. I kept telling myself it's all going to work out no matter what. So when we came across the difficulty, I said, all right, no problem. Here's the plan B. It also allowed me to kind of look around and see the people that were worried about it. The people that were, thinking, shit, man, how am I supposed to warm up with only, there's 2 yokes here for 600 people? What am I supposed to do? Well, if you weren't worried about it, if you were preserving the nerves, if you were practicing positive self-talk, and you believed in yourself, had some delusional optimism, then it wouldn't be a problem and you would figure it out. So that's that. Wow. Put some interesting stuff into my shake tonight, but got a little behind on food. Got to hit my macros and my micros. So that's that. All right. So let's recap this. I 100% guarantee you're going to have an amazing day if you do these things from here on out. 1, talk to yourself positively. If I ever catch any of you people saying you can't do anything, I'm going to come smack you. That means you, Horace. That means you, Sean, anybody. Carol, I don't know you, but I will verbally tell you not to do that otherwise. And so I won't smack you. I don't know you. But we don't talk negatively about ourselves around here. We believe in ourselves because we're doing Strongman. We're awesome people. That's that. Talk to yourself positively. You have to sleep. No good champion existed on 4 hours of sleep a night. Ain't happening. This is proven science that our brain and our body regenerate, regrow, and repair through deep and REM sleep. If you think that you can get this done otherwise, you are not the exception. If you were the exception, you would know. You'd be in the Olympics. You'd be a pro athlete. You would have been a D1 something. You would have known by now. I'm very sorry to say it, but like it would be a lot better. You'd be getting paid millions of dollars to be a wide receiver or something. Okay, that's not you. Sleep. Get your sleep in above all costs. As a matter of fact, the only thing that is worth biohacking is your sleep. Trying to biohack like your energy or using like peptides and nootropics to like get your brain to work harder is so freaking stupid if you're not sleeping. That would be like it's like trying to avoid seed oils at all costs, but like still having a 6-pack of beer every night. Like you're just like fighting the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not that it's bad, but I don't know if that was the right analogy or not. Anyways, preserve the nerves. You got to calm yourself, guys. If you have not implemented any of these in 432, 528, or binaural, like before bed to get you to sleep deeper, or for a 5-minute just like recharge in the middle of the day, 5 to 10 minutes or 15, this will change your life. I am telling you, it is incredible stuff. You've got to try this out. Number 4, stay in routine. The closer we get to competition, the more important that is, especially like the day before. We're not trying new foods. We're eating things that agree with our stomach. We're drinking our water. We're getting it done. We're just being automatic, mostly because we don't want to think extra about these things and add in extra stresses, pressures, like, oh, well, what if that doesn't work? Or you eat something and God forbid your stomach is going crazy and you got the shits 3 days before nationals, right? Like, even though it'll probably clear your system, you don't want to be sitting there thinking, oh, man, how am I going to do, how am I going to do my 700-pound yoke, if I feel like I'm shitting myself right now? We just don't even want to let that get into question, you know what I mean? So just be in routine, do the things that you know are successful for you. And if there's something that you maybe should have done, just let it go, whatever. You are already so far ahead of where you were, even if you felt like you could have or should have done something else. It doesn't matter. Doesn't change things now. You're still so far ahead, and you're using positive self-talk to reinforce that you are a better person than when you started this program 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks ago or a year ago, whatever, all right? Last one, delusional optimism. Hey, man, what if you show up and have the best day of all time? What if? I want you to think about these like crazy stories you hear from the Olympics. Like there's an Australian speed skater, right? Like he won the only speed skating medal in Australia's history because the first 4 guys all crashed together in front of him. Okay? So you just like never know when something crazy is going to happen that gives you the opportunity to win. But if you're counting yourself out from the get-go, you're not going to be able to show up, and claim that victory. And guess what? That guy won that gold medal fair and square, Like, listen, I love Martin Sleeces. He definitely deserved to win World's Strongest Man. But, like, hey, man, when he won, he went up against Thor, who he ruptured his foot in the prelims. Eddie Hall was out that year. Brian Shaw hurt himself that year. It doesn't mean that his competition, that his title was undeserved. No, totally deserved, because part of this game is like staying healthy and showing up and performing no matter what your circumstances are. But I'm just saying, like, you have no idea what circumstances are coming at competition. So, like, why not just think like, hey, man, maybe I have the best competition day of my entire life. Maybe I just freaking crush it. Don't get married to that idea, but just believe that it could happen. It's only going to happen if you believe it could. But then if it doesn't, we're just using this positive self-talk to continue to PR and do our best and have a guaranteed successful comp day full of PRs. So, all right, guys, leaving it open to the floor for a few minutes if you guys got questions. If anybody wants, questions, comments, concerns, now's the time. You know what? Somebody had just messaged me a question about nationals, so I might as well answer it on the stream. Let's see. Somebody asked, can I cut the sleeves off my Cerberus grip shirt? I don't know. I guess you can. Interesting question. I don't know why not, right? Like, why can't you cut the sleeves off? Who knows? Anyways, questions, guys. Trapper King, Horace, Carol, anybody that's in here, I'm happy to field anything. Strongman related or not, you want to ask me something crazy, I'd be happy to answer that too. Whatever you want. Now's your time. I don't do open Q&A very often, so lay it on me. You got some last minute questions on nationals, event related? You want to know something about frame carries or the yoke? Hey, I can talk about yoke all day long. Put some stuff in my story today about starting position for a yoke. That's pretty helpful. I've only been beaten by 4 people in yoke ever. In my 15 years of strongman, only 4 people have ever beaten me in yoke. So when's OSG this year? OSG is the week before Thanksgiving in November in Arlington, Texas. It's like November 16th through the 18th, I think. So November, a little early. Guys, if you're not already, make sure you're eating organ meats. Some beef liver, some beef heart. Forgot to go get my beef heart today. Next week, is it beneficial to continue working out but at super lightweight? Yes. I would have the way that I would program this and the way it's programmed for a lot of our people in the Strongman Club, clubstrongman.com, is we have 2 deload taper days, and I don't remember off the top of my head exactly what's on them, but one day is some carries. I don't think there's yoke in there because like yoke is just so nervous system intensive, even when it's lighter, that I don't really think it's worth doing that at this point. Like you should have already done your heaviest yoke. Let's see what else. I'm sorry. So 2 days. One would be like mostly pressing, right? So you like get some work on the log and like maybe some sandbags, and then the second day would just be some light frame deadlifts and frame carries. But when I mean light, I mean like 50%, maybe 40% of either your working weights or nationals weights, whichever would be lighter for you. So if you are gonna maybe PR for 1 rep on your frame deadlift, then you want to do like 40 to 50% of whatever you were working with leading up to competition, right? So if that makes sense. But yeah, definitely. And it's also good too if you feel like you need some refinement on technique or you got to brush up on some stuff, like doing some light log and just really reinforcing like a good dip pattern or something, right? Like just somewhere where you've got some questions on that. It's important to go in with confidence. So like, maybe somebody on the frame carry, like even though you could do an empty frame or an empty trap bar or something and just sprint and like haul some butt and just get this mental image in your head of like how fast you can move with the frame. Like that would be really good for you to get that ingrained into your head right before comp, right? Sean Fennerly, you madman. Sean is asking, is doing Beast of the Bay, OSG qualifier, and Strongman Corp Nationals within 6 weeks of one another feasible? Feasible, yes. Is it smart? Definitely not. If you would like to talk more in depth about that, I would be happy to. But those, no. The answer is no. I really would not do those comps 3 weeks within one another. I mean, you got Beast of the Bay's in Tampa, of course. OSG qualifiers in Lakeland, so not far. Nationals is in Vegas, so that's cool. You can get a good trip out of it. So it just depends what you want out of it. But if you want to talk more about that, let me know. The Nationals events don't really excite me, and neither do the OSG qualifier events. But it's whatever you want, man. I mean, I'm not trying to smack talk, anything else. But Beast of the Bay is going to be a lot of fun. But whatever you want, man. Whatever you want. Why don't you message me about that? We'll chat it out. I'll give you my fully fledged non-YouTube opinion on that. All right, guys. I'm going to finish my smoothie here. Start getting ready for tomorrow. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Have an awesome night. You can always reach out to me anytime. Shoot me a comment, message, DM, whatever, man. I appreciate you tuning in. We're close. We're going to do one more of these next week. Just going to be full Q&A. We've kind of covered everything that you could need to know as far as nationals goes. So I'll see you next week. Have a great night.